I just wanted to go live with Petra for a little bit because she was hanging out in her enclosure, so I just wanted to go live for a little. Excuse me, I'm a little tired. It's a little late where me and Petra are, but not too late. She is, she's not totally like nocturnal, but she is kind of semi-nocturnal because of course she is a ball python and they tend to be nocturnal. So she's more active in the later, there she is. So she's a little bit more active in the later hours of the day. She also might be hungry because it's around the time she is going to be eating. She will either eat later tonight or probably tomorrow. Definitely tomorrow though if she doesn't eat tonight. What are you doing? Hi, welcome. Just doing a quick little live with Petra. Come on camera, there we go. She's just hanging out. She's like, you got any food for me? Oh, I'll do a little enclosure tour while I'm here. Feel free to ask any questions, by the way, about Petra enclosure or the channel. All questions, of course, appropriate or welcome. So here I have just some fake grass, plants, lots of nice enrichment for her, and then that's an air plant, so that's real. There's Petra. Then I have that right there is a humidity gauge, so that'll tell me how humid it is. Humidity is a huge thing for ball pythons. And then that's a thermometer. I have a thermometer on this side and a thermometer over there. That's her tail over there in her water bowl, which is kind of just a water, but not dish, like a water, just like a plastic little thing. But I do replace it like not super often, but whenever I clean her cage, I replace it. And she always has fresh water. How many pets do you have? Ooh, good question. I have Petra, and then I have 3 lizards and a betta fish. Great question. Do anyone watch have any pets? Petra's looking at the camera. She's like, is this food? What is this? That's her ball. You see her. I forget what it's made of, but I just put that snake safe, of course. I just put it in there in case, like, for when she sheds, she has something to rub up against. Just another thing. And then over here she has on her log hide, it's pretty rough, so she'll rub up against that too. Just wanted to provide as many kind of natural for her. She looks very like tan, very like kind of light flesh color. For whatever reason, the camera's picking her up a bit strange today. Or tonight, depending on where you're viewing from. What are you doing? Petra says hello to everyone. Aw, he's being so cute. Are you gonna come out? What are you doing? And then, yeah, so this is her, start right there. This is her full enclosure. And are you come out? Ma'am, we're not coming out right now. We're not coming out right now. No, thank you. You stay in there. She's like, oh, but I want to come out. You're gonna be eating soon. I can't have you out. Don't mind the random stuff over there. I just have some like stickers and like random stuff that I used to decorate her cage. Oh, she didn't go out. I'm so offended. You're gonna be eating soon. I can't have you out. Then you're not gonna eat, and then you're gonna be. Okay, while you be grumpy, well, so it's a 40-gallon cage. I just have this little like, it's meant for lizards to climb on, but I just had to provide some like privacy, or that's where her water bowl is. So sometimes if she sees someone pass by, she'll get a little like scared and she won't drink. Just to provide her a little privacy, right? Same thing with the plants here in front of her cage, and not her cage, her tank, or like her hide over here. Just a little extra privacy. And then you can't really see it because the hammock's blocking it, but I have a big branch and she likes to, like, her tail's behind it right now. She likes to hide behind the branch. Right now she's just hanging out. Oh, excuse me, my allergies. Ooh. She's like, I came out, I thought you had some food for me, but you didn't, so I'll just be sitting over here. And she tried to come out a minute ago, and I don't really want her out, because with ball pythons, this isn't all ball pythons, but sometimes if you take them out before they eat, they won't eat because they're tired and like they were handled and stuff. So yeah. Hey Petra, let me move this grass so you can see her a little better. Here we go. She's like, what are you doing? Yeah. So that's really all Petra's enclosure is. And then of course we have the heat lights and stuff above. Petra is so cute. Aw, thank you. You say you're cute, Petra. She's looking at her reflection. She's like, ooh, what's that? Every now and then, I call it like the shadow dance or the reflection dance. Let me move this so you can see her. She'll do this funny thing where if she sees her reflection, she'll like do a little kind of like little thing, and she'll look at it and she'll be like, Hey Petra, come back into the light. It's so dark where you are. She's like, I hide in the shadows. You're so silly. Yeah, so that's really all her enclosure is, and then I have some kind of silly photo over there. Yeah, that's the enclosure. For anyone, I think someone was asking for a tour. Is that your face over there? She's not sure what she's doing. She's like, I'm gonna go over here and then I'm gonna go over there. This is kind of just how she gets comfortable. She'll kind of go one way, then the other way, and eventually, slowly but surely, she will coil up. There's a few main spots. When you set up a tank for a reptile, specifically a snake, it's good to have like a few main areas they can feel secure in. So we have this hide under it is 1. Then we have here to the side where she likes to sit, that's 2. And then you'll see her that's where she's going right now. Over there, she's kind of like to the side of her water bowl and in the corner. That's another safe spot that she likes to go to. And that's like the safe spot. The whole cage is safe, but it's like a cozy area where she can kind of squish in and get cozy. Soon you'll see her head probably pop out over there. Oh, there she is, right on cue. You're so silly. One of my most asked questions actually is what are like some of Petra's favorite things. I usually don't get them on like actual lives, but every now and then I'll get them on a video, and I've seen a bit of them. Not like in general, but like her favorite things in her cage or her tank. And definitely those like little hidey spots, like the one that she is getting comfortable in right now. And then she loves these hammocks. I don't really get to see her on them too often because she'll kind of stretch out at night and she'll kind of bask in the light. Well, at night, of course, her lights get switched off, but she'll kind of go up there and like sit in the heat. I put on a red light when it's nighttime. Right now I have the white light on because she won't be going to bed just yet, and if I do feed her, I need to be able to see her like tank. What are you doing? Hold on, let me just, you can see her here. You are being so silly right now. She's like, I want to coil up over there. That's actually one of her favorite things to do, is she will go behind this, like over here. It's another little safe spot. She's recently Girly, what are you doing? So yeah, that's another safe spot that she really started kind of exploring that she likes to go in. There she is. She could be a little silly sometimes. She's also just looking at her reflection over there. I'm pretty sure she could see her reflection, but I'm not like totally sure. Because she does interact with her reflection. And sometimes if I'm like, I have to fix my hair. Oops. Accidentally turned the camera off with my palm. Sorry about that. holding it. Oh, sorry, I didn't see your chats because I wasn't looking at it. I'm getting my first ball python this week. What morph should I get? Ooh, great question. Petra, what are you doing? Petra is a bumblebee ball python, which is a spider morph. I didn't know this before because I was doing more research on how to care for her, like what morph or type I was gonna get. I was gonna get a ball python, but like versus what morph. I looked more into the actual care. Excuse me. So she's a spider morph, or she comes from a spider morph, which they have wobble, which is a neurological issue. I think they can have other neurological issues too. But yeah, so I would not, unless you're going to girl, she's being so silly right now. What are you doing? Unless you're going to just keep it as a pet, not be breeding, and the snake isn't really showing any neurological or brain issues, yeah, that's fine. But if you're going to be breeding or the snake is really showing some signs of kind of neurological disability, unless you're prepared to handle that, I wouldn't do that if you're getting your first ball python. The morph really doesn't matter. They're all good other than the ones who have neurological issues. So just wherever you go, ask. I will be breeding. Okay, well then definitely don't morph. So whenever you go, ask if they have genes or neurological issues what they're getting. I think breeding age is like 3, 4 plus. I think it's 3+ years for ball pythons. Her tank is a 40-gallon tank, but I'm not breeding her. That's just a little enclosure. For breeding, sometimes people use racks, which are like shelves. I don't really approve of that. I understand if it's a big enough area, that's fine, but a lot of times they're small. It's really sad for the snake. But to an extent, I do understand it. So I don't know. They're definitely not going to be in there if you're just breeding them. So it's really up to you. But her tank is a 40-gallon tank. I'm not sure what morph you want to get. I'm going to keep her in a 20-gallon. Is that good? Well, is that going to be her permanent enclosure or just for breeding? Because if it's a permanent enclosure, I don't think that's going to be big enough because they like to stretch out. Like Petra, her enclosure is good for now, but once she's full grown, I'm going to get her. She's her enclosure. But that's just because I spoil her. She's spoiled. But I would say 40, 45 and up for the gallons. If you're going to be like keeping the snake and that's their house. Just for breeding, yeah, I would say 20-gallon for breeding should be good, but I would just watch them closely because that's a small area, and I always get nervous when when people I know have snakes and like really close to each other. I'm scared that like they'll hurt each other. Oh, she might get a drink of water. Are you gonna get a drink of water, Petra? Oh, there she goes. You so thirsty. Breeding for Christmas, I'm gonna get 120-gallon. Oh, 120-gallon more than enough. Yeah, so I would say for breeding a 20 or 30-gallon is fine. As of what morph you should get, I don't know. I know a good handful of morphs, but I don't know like too many. If you're breeding, it depends what kind of snakes you want to produce. Yeah, so my only advice is just stay clear of morphs and have neurological issues. Is there any morphs that you're hoping to produce? Or any types of ball pythons that you're hoping to get when you breed? Yeah, so like I said earlier, Petra is a bumblebee, which comes from a spider ball python. So I will never be breeding her. I'm really not gonna. I don't have the intent to breed her. But if I was going to, I'm definitely not doing that because neurological issues, and that just wouldn't be to the babies. Excuse me. Yeah, she luckily, at least she doesn't show signs of neurological issues if she does have them, or they're just like so subtle that she really doesn't show it. So that's good for her. Banana ball pythons are my favorite. Ooh, I love banana ball pythons. The cinnamons are really pretty too. I might not breed though. What do you feed her? Ooh, good question. I've been feeding her 5 large frozen thawed mice, but today or tomorrow is feeding, and I'm gonna try feeding her 1 to 2 small rats. I think they're small rats, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to get up and look at the box. I'm pretty sure they're small rats. Yeah, so she'll eat either one rats. She is like 3.5 feet long, so that's a good size for her. Depends on the size of the ball python. Yeah, that's really all that she eats. And then water, as you can see she's drinking. When also I want to do live. Ooh, I would not do live. I understand some snakes can be picky, but live can really hurt your snake, especially if you're breeding and you want that snake to be at full. If you feed live, they can scratch and bite your snake, and it's also be stressful for the animal. So I would not feed live. I feed her frozen thawed. When should I feed mine? Okay. Depends on the size of the snake. There's a lot of research and stuff that has to go into it. So let's say at her size, she is 3.5 feet. So she's almost an adult. She'll be 3 next April. So she's almost an adult. So she eats every other week, every 2 weeks, like not every 2 weeks, she'll go like 2 weeks without eating, maybe 3 weeks the longest. Usually it's every other week, or like every other week and a half. It's on the individual too. Yeah, once a week should be fine if it's like a smaller snake. She used to eat once a week, but if it's a larger snake, you could go for a little bit longer. It also depends how much you feed the snake. A good way to gauge is usually when a snake is full, they will just stop and start digesting. As you can see here, she's coiling up. She hasn't eaten though, but like this is what they'll do. They'll kind of coil up. So what I do with her is she eats in this little log right here. I know some people say you shouldn't, oh, it's dark because the camera hasn't focused. She eats in here in her hide. What some people say is do it in a different area because then the snake will be kind of food motivated whenever the door's open to the enclosure. That's never happened with me, and she eats really well when she's in her enclosure because she's more comfortable, so that's just what I do. If she's hungry, she will sit there and wait for more, and if she's not, she'll go coil up. That's kind of how I gauge it. It depends on the size and the individual. Right, Petra? Yeah, but when you get the ball python, like if you wanna tag me in like a community post or video, I would love to see the ball python. Hold her. Yes, I do hold her. Let me see. Come on. Can the camera focus? There we go. I do hold her, but our interactions are limited to like once a day or less because obviously she gets tired. Sleepy noodle. But yeah, the interactions are at least like once a day usually. Like I didn't hold her today, but I held her yesterday. So I do hold her, but obviously she needs her test. Where's your face, Petra? Oh, her name is Petra, by the way. How much did she cost? Good question. She was, I think $350 in US dollars. But at her size now that she is older, I would say she could go for anywhere to like 400 to 500, depending the right person that wants to purchase her. I will never be selling her though. Petra is my pride and joy. Right now she is going to hide behind the leaves. What are you doing? Oh. You could just see her face like slightly moving. You silly. It's in the background. Where I live, it's starting to cool down. It's starting to kind of fall is upon us. So the crickets will be going soon, sadly. Or at least they won't be as noisy. At a store near me, it's $40 for a baby, but it's just a regular black and brown ball python. Yeah, that's actually kind of cheap. I have a store like near me. You're in Michigan. I don't know what the prices range there. Is in our description. But Here, a large, not large, a small ball python can go, if it's just a normal, like a royal or brown and black and green, they can go from anywhere from like 50 to 100. That's usually the price. Anything more than that, that's a bit pricey. But she's a morph, so she is a bit more expensive. I also got her from like a small mom and pop shop, like family run. So obviously they have to make a little bit more profit than chain stores. And she was also like vet approved, all the nice things. Sorry, I just kind of moved the camera and it hit like the cage rim. So this is how she sleeps. Usually, if she sleeps in that corner over there, she'll kind of coil up a little bit tighter. But she kind of like lays down in like a little hammock position if she's in that side on the cage or tank. That's how she sleeps, all coiled up. Usually she'll tuck her head under her coils, because that's just like, can you focus, camera? Because that's just kind of what they do in the wild to protect themselves, because obviously when they're sleeping they're vulnerable. Hi, welcome. I hope she gets noticed. She's cute. Thank you, I really appreciate that. Yeah, for anyone watching, if you want to check out our channel, we would really appreciate it. This is Petra. She is a almost 2.5-year-old bumblebee ball python. And she's just sitting in her enclosure. Usually we do lives on Saturdays, but I just wanted to do a quick one and just kind of hang out for a little bit. Probably just going to do it to like 25 minutes, but where'd you find her? The store or an interesting story? Kind of an interesting story. Not that interesting. I went in a car once upon a time. Once upon a time, the story begins, the curtains unveil. Got her at a little mom and pop shop, family run. And they had a lot of other pretty ball pythons there, but this is actually the one interesting part of the story. Why I decided to pick her is I kind of like touched her face and I was like, hello, because obviously I really don't advise kissing reptiles. Obviously she's clean and I've never gotten salmonella or anything from her or any other reptiles, even turtles. But yeah, don't kiss reptiles, children. The moral of the story, don't kiss reptiles. So I just kind of touched her and she looked at me and she kind of moved over to my face and kind of mimicked it, and she kind of tapped me with the tip of her nose. And it was really cute. And I was like, oh, she's giving me and she still does that till this day. And I haven't found another snake that does that. So I was like, oh, you gave me a kiss in return. So I got her. Also, she was really friendly, really pretty. So she was a triple threat, triple cuteness. Was she a baby at the time? She wasn't a baby, but she was a lot younger. She just turned 1. So I celebrate her birthday and her like gotcha day, or her hatch day. Her birthday and her gotcha day on the same time. Gotcha's like I got her gotcha day. I just call it a birthday. Yeah, I just celebrate them at the same time, because if she had just turned 1 when I got her, they would be like super, super close by. So I just celebrate them on the same day. And so not that much of an interesting story, but still cute. Is that your only snake or pet? She is not my only pet, but she is my only snake. I also have 3 lizards. They're anoles, and then I have a betta fish. They're not really on the channel as much. It's mostly just her. Every now and then I'll show my lizards, and in a few like videos the fish is in it for just like a clip. I think in one video. Oh, hello. She's like, hello, I'm gonna look at you now. How are you doing? She's so cute. I'm tempted to get a LOL. Yeah, they're definitely a lot of fun, but they're a lot of hard work. It's a big space. She has a 40-gallon tank. When she's older, I spoil her a little, but she might need a slightly bigger one, like maybe 50-gallon. It would, I think, is more like across. It's still a pretty good height though. Like here it is. Okay, that looks small because the camera's close and I don't really want to back up because then other stuff is in the, nothing bad. I just don't want like all my random junk in the frame. All my random items that I have in this room. But I would definitely expand the top over here and I would make it go a lot higher so that way she could stretch out up versus across, because I have a desk right next to this, so I couldn't really elongate her cage if I wanted to. I might get it custom. Does anyone know, is it more expensive to just buy a whole new cage or get a pre-existing cage kind of like customized? Spoiling is okay. I spoil my cat too. She has her own kingdom and picks her own food. Yeah, Petra usually picks her own toys. Every now and then if she's been real good and I have a little cash on me, I'll bring her to a pet store and I'll see what item she kind of goes to and like wraps around the most or she seems the most interested in, and I'll get that for her if it's a reasonable price. She likes the dog ropes like to climb on, and then she also likes the every now and then she'll like a plushie. She has this one ball. It's like a ball with holes, and the dog's meant to like chew on it, and its teeth kind of go into the little like holes or grooves, and she likes to go in and out and slither through it. And sometimes she goes on top of it and she kind of flops over. It's really cute. So I have these random creaks. I'm just sitting on it, kind of makes silly noises sometimes. I don't have any animals, but I used to have a cat and 5 ball pythons, so I didn't mean to say my first. I meant to say my first in a long time. Oh, that's fine. Have you ever thought about getting her a sister or a brother snake? Oh, all the time. I personally would have like 100 snakes if I could, but as of now, I don't have the room for another snake. Well, I did if I wanted to give it like a terrible, like mini, super small enclosure, but that just wouldn't be fair to the animal until I have a little bit more room, and then Petra will definitely be getting a friend because I wouldn't want to put them in the same enclosure. So I would have to get a whole other tank, and then I would have to get a table or something to put the tank on, and then that's extra lights, extra decoration, and that definitely adds up. And then that's also 2 little noodle mouths to feed, which can definitely get pricey. Oh, Petra actually, she'll be eating her first rat soon. So she has a big milestone coming up. It's gonna be the rat ever. She's a growing girl. I am gonna be ending this at 30 minutes. I went a little over, but so if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat because we are gonna get going soon, but you guys still have some time. My cat for 2. Oh yeah, Petra definitely oh, excuse me. This dang couch. Hush. I also gotta get a new couch on top of that. Yeah, she definitely also is a very how do I say it? She's a food connoisseur. She definitely enjoys eating. Sometimes when I feed her and I finish feeding her, she'll just sit there and be like, more? And I'll be like, excuse me, you can't eat more. You have had so much. Okay, have a great day. I'll be leaving. Also, tell Petra she's cute. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be wrapping up soon, like in a minute anyway, so. They say you're cute. Petra says, bye, thank you. Joining us, really appreciate it. Yeah, so with that, 29 minutes. Went a little over, supposed to end at 25, but you know, whatever. It happens. Yeah, so it is new here and wants to check out our channel. Feel free. And we usually do lives on Saturdays. So we have a live coming up, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. There's always a notice in the community post of our channel. Like the morning of, and then it happens the night, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. So plenty of time to like make a little spot in your schedule and come say hi. Yeah, so thanks for joining us. Have a good day or night wherever you are viewing from. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. And bye. Say bye, Petra. Thanks for joining us.